Good evening, everyone. I would like to call to order a meeting of the Plan Commission. Welcome to 2026. It's January 6, 2026, more than 24 hours in advance of tonight's meeting. Notice of the time, place, date, and subject matter of the meeting was posted in accordance to Wisconsin state statutes. I'd invite you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We recognize a full quorum of our Plan Commission here tonight. Thank you all for being here. Our first item of business is approval of our minutes from our Plan Commission meeting in December 2nd, 2025.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks, Matt and Mike. Any comments, questions, corrections? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to our regular agenda tonight. A couple of site plans to start with. John, I'll turn it to you. I think John's going to introduce the first three items. Jim will do his normal brief. We'll entertain questions and motions and so forth.
So our first site plan this evening is for a 6,624 square foot cold storage building and a 16,000 square foot training tower located at 2145 West Washington Street for the future fire station number 1 for the city of West Bend.
Good evening. So tonight, the Plan Commission originally approved the fire station back in August of last year, and a part of that approval, they did propose a future training tower center and then also a cold storage building for additional equipment. Tonight, we're just asking the Plan Commission to give the approval for both the training tower and the cold storage buildings for the architectural materials for the buildings. The property sits on a 13-acre site and is zoned I-1, which is conducive to the use for the fire department use. Stormwater plan has been approved for this development and also included these two items as part of that stormwater approval. Parking and everything on site has remained the same. Landscaping has been incorporated as part of the plans for the buildings also. The accessory buildings themselves will be a 42 by 72 cold storage building located on the eastern edge of the property, just south of the main building. And then the training tower is directly south of that, which is a 22 by 72 building. The materials for the training tower will be slate gray metal panel building, and then the door trims will be bronze. And then also for the cold storage building, it's going to be a metal building with a black roof and a desert colored panel, which is kind of a khaki beige color for that. Staff would recommend approval of the site plan with no additional conditions.
Okay, thanks, Jim. Gustafson is here tonight. He's been working real close with John and Jim on this. If anybody has questions for Gus, or Gus, if you have anything you want to add, feel free.
No, not really. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for walking me through everything, guys. We're trying to get the building to look as close to the main building as possible, and there's so many different vendors, it's really hard to do that. But that is the goal, and that's what we're striving to do.
Do you know if Cleary is building this, or there were two, it was Cleary and
Walters.
Walter, yeah.
Walters was awarded the bid.
Yeah, we need a motion, yes.
Bill, I've got a clarifying question. Looking at would be page 7 in the packet, the subject, review the site plan for a 60,624 square foot cold storage building. For the record, is that correct?
No, I think that's a typo.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
John did announce 6,000.
Yeah,
Okay.
He did announce 6,000.
42 by 72.
Right.
Did I say 6? Oh, well, but
I noticed
wrong.
it too because I saw the 60 and I was like,
That
oh,
was
that's
a
a
typo.
typo then.
And heavy fingers that there.
Unless you'd like us to build a bigger, I think we're good.
Is the square footage 6,624? Does that sound right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
42 by 72, right?
Yeah.
3,020.
was afraid it's going to be as big as a fire station.
Yeah. Good question.
Okay. All right, I will entertain a motion on the site plan, please.
Second.
Thank you, John and Mike. Any more questions, comments, discussion?
I'll just ask one question because you had mentioned that the intent is to make everything match up with the building, but the tower, no, I can't find the right swaths. One of the,
14.
so the outbuild, or the cold storage building is a desert, but the tower is a slate gray, but there is a desert tan available. How do those colors match up or align when you look at those compared to the actual FS1?
Yeah, I think they did match up a little better, and I think we can explore that and find out, which one we should go with. We'll have a discussion.
My suggestion to Gus was it's very difficult sometimes to pick out a color on a swatch board, particularly when you've got a training tower that's going to be multiple stories, pretty predominant. You're going to see the fire station is going to be the backdrop of the training tower from different viewpoints. The storage building is going to be tucked away a little bit more in the trees, so it's not quite going to be quite as visible, but I suggested to Gus that maybe he or someone at the fire station could reach out to the fire facilities company and ask them to show them a built tower in the slate gray and one in the classic beige. Those are the wall colors. The desert sand is only a trim color for them, but so it's the four colors at the bottom. Gus and I and some other people from the fire department were out looking. Obviously, the white isn't going to look right. The cream beige is way yellow. It's clearly not. So it's somewhere between the classic beige and the slate beige. Classic had a little more brown. The slate, a little more gray, maybe a little bit more green or other undertones. So my suggestion to Gus would just to be call them and see if they could either get some images of a full building built, or maybe there's something, near Beaver Dam or with an hour drive that they could actually go see.
No, absolutely, and I do know what you're saying, because in different lights, that one color did have some hints of green to it. It depends which kind of light you were in.
I'm sure we've all gotten the swatch from the paint store,
Oh, yeah.
started to paint on the wall, doesn't look right, and then you finish, let it dry, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's the right color, or it's the wrong color. So
No, absolutely, we'll do that.
Just make it all blue.
Well, we probably have enough bricks yet, so we could.
All right, any more questions? We've got a motion and a second. Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, our next site plan, John. This one is for a 184,000 square foot building, just so you know. Go ahead, sorry.
okay. The second site plan this evening is for a site plan for approximately 184,000 square foot industrial and office building located approximately 1/4 mile east of River Road on the north and south sides of Forge Place by PS Seasoning. And I'll turn it over to Jim.
Thank you. This site plan is for 184,000 square foot industrial building for the PS Seasonings group. A certified survey map was approved back in November of last year by the Plan Commission, which would actually create the parcel for this development, essentially on the north side of Forge Place there. The 60-acre parcel is zoned M2, is heavy industrial, and this development proposal fits the requirements of the M2 district. Stormwater management plan is required for the development, and the developer has been working with engineering in regards to the stormwater plan, since it will have regional facilities out there that the city will be constructing as part of the industrial park. The site access will be off of Forge Place. A cul-de-sac bulb will actually be constructed as part of the improvements for the industrial park, and this will create the access for the development. 2 driveways are proposed off of the cul-de-sac bulb, one leading to the east side of the building for deliveries, and then the other part leading to the west side for deliveries and also the parking lots. Landscaping has been provided throughout the site, and adequate landscaping has been provided for both the parking lot areas and throughout the site. and also snow storage is being provided. The architectural building elevations identify some signage on the south and west side of the buildings. Staff has no concerns with the locations of the signs. It's just that the signs themselves will have to comply to the sign code requirements as to size for that. Site lighting throughout the development will be LED lighting on 22-foot poles, and that complies with the requirements of the zoning code for that. The architectural building elevations identify the majority of the building being a tip-up precast concrete panel. The panels will vary from exposed aggregate walls and also with reveals in the panels themselves, and it also have honed stone areas on the panels. The colors will vary from a natural unpainted color panel all the way to various shades of gray, which they consider or are calling out as Big Chill, which is a light gray, Chelsea gray, which is a medium gray, and then Gauntlet gray, which is a darker gray. And then they also have red accents throughout the front of the building. Staff would recommend approval with the listed conditions.
Cool. Very
Motion to
exciting.
approve.
Thanks, Matt. Is there a second? John Swartz? Devin, and I apologize, I don't know your colleague, but if anything else you'd like to share, we'd love to hear. This is very exciting for us, so thanks for being here tonight.
Hi, I'm Devin Pittman with the Bryan Building.
Paul Greshek, architect with Bryan.
We're just here to answer questions if you have any. So we've done a lot of work with John and Max and the rest of the team. So we're confident that they have put all the input that they need to into the project.
Wonderful. Any questions? Jed?
It's a beautiful building that we're seeing here. I was just curious for Max, traffic impact analysis, is that routine for this use? I don't recall. And practically speaking, I'm thinking of River Road and Forge, and I don't know what else could be done with it. If this TIA came back with something horrendous.
No, it's not typical, but it was discussed because of the type of use and then the timing. I think eventually we'll have more traffic when when it's fully developed. And then when we first started this industrial park and we came up with Forge Place, I had consulted with some traffic engineers on what do we need to do here besides the typical bypass lane for vehicles trying to make a left turn, etc. And at that point, because we had no idea if we were going to have like 16 users or 3 users, we didn't know anything about the volumes of traffic. So we designed the road with a certain width to do a dedicated left turn if we need to. But we haven't marked any of that, and we don't. What I'm trying to determine is what should we be doing with the traffic that your business is going to bring, and potentially other business coming to the to complete the park here. So that's what I'm looking for, is trying to make sure we don't get traffic congestion at the intersection there. But you're right, it's not like we're going to do a roundabout or traffic signal or anything like that. But I'm looking for direction on how to treat that leg of the intersection on Forge Place.
Hey, Jed, you brought this up, I think, with the covers a while back, and I think I love this project, love the building, less concerned about this project, but thinking about these traffic studies and where we have an issue where we think it might be an issue, it feels like we have incomplete information if we don't have that study when we're looking to approve it. And again, I'm not saying for this particular instance, but it's maybe something we want to talk about moving forward, that maybe we need to have more information on these traffic studies when we're approving some of these things where we think it might be an issue moving forward.
I agree with that. I think part of the issue with this park in particular is the length of time it's going to take us to get to full capacity and understanding what full capacity even looks like, right? And I think that's one of those things as we continue to progress and fill this park, there may come a point in time where we've got to say, hey, we really need to look at this because we've got it now 50 or 60% full, and these are the impacts we're seeing, and what is the potential future impacts. I know one of the discussions I've already had with Chief is looking to reduce that speed from 55 down to 45, because that stretch from Rusco to NN is the only stretch that remains 55 miles an hour, and dropping that speed will help with safety at that intersection. And that's one of those things that, again, he said, in time, we will look at that as we start to reach fuller capacity of that park, and begin to feel some of the impacts of the increased traffic.
And just for clarification on the TIA, I did engage traffic impact analysis and design to do that for us, and we expect it in about 3 weeks. It's a condition of the approval, so we'll have that for you by the end of the month.
Okay, good questions. Any other comments, questions? We've got a motion and a second, right? We do, right?
Yeah, we'll move to
Okay.
the second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, thank you very, very much. Site plan looks great. All right, John, a preliminary plat.
Yes, we have a preliminary plat for a request of approval of Kingfisher Hollow, a preliminary plat for a residential and industrial subdivision located approximately 600 feet east of South Main Street and south of West Progress Drive, Kingfisher Drive Extended, by DAM Properties LLC. You'll recall we went through a land use and rezoning process for this about a year ago-ish, and I'll turn it over to Jim to talk about the plat.
Thank you. So the plat today is for a 21-lot subdivision plat, which will consist of 10 units of single-family, 8 units of two-family, 1 multifamily lot for future development with a site plan approval in the future, and also 2 industrial lots on the far north end, all again located east of Main Street and south of West Progress Drive. Lots 1 and 21 on the north end are zoned the M3 industrial park. Lots 3 through 12 are zoned RS4 single family residential, and lots 2 and 13 through 19 are zoned RD2. And then the one single lot, lot 20, is zoned RM4 for multifamily residential. All the lots comply with the zoning requirements for each respective district that they're within. The plat has been recently revised to eliminate the outlot 1 where the stormwater feature is. The stormwater feature will be a part of that multifamily lot under lot 20 instead of under its own separate outlot for the development. So that was the only minor change that we had on the plat from what was submitted to us. The subdivision is actually going to complete the road connection of Kingfisher and extend all the way up to Progress Drive. This connection is important since it does provide a second connection to the Rolling Hills and Rolling Hills Addition number 1 subdivisions that have currently solo access only to Main Street. So this actually will provide a good connection and provide additional access to the existing subdivision. This will also complete a water main loop for the Rolling Hills subdivisions, since water will be extended from Progress Drive south and connect into the existing hydrant on Kingfisher. The sanitary sewer is actually split for the development. The lower 3-4 lots drain south, and then the remaining lots drain north to Progress Drive for that, and those utilities will be extended from the existing utilities in the roads there. Again, stormwater management will be on the southwest corner of the multifamily lot, and will serve the subdivision for that, and also take road water from the new road being proposed. The grading plan that's been submitted basically has the sites draining south and then also west to that stormwater facility. Soil compaction will be required for those areas that have lots that have 2 foot or more of fill within each of the building pad areas. Park fees and street tree fees will be required as part of the development proposal, and also a developer's agreement will be required to be approved by the Common Council. Staff would recommend approval of the preliminary plat with the listed conditions.
All right, thanks.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks, Matt, and a second by Scott. Is there anybody here wishing to speak on this topic tonight? If not, that's okay. Any comments, questions from the Plan Commission?
Just a question, and I think I know the answer. When you look at the multifamily lot, the assumption is the entrance to that would come off of Kingfisher north of lot 19 between that duplex and the industrial.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, eventually there'll be a site plan coming to Plan Commission for that development,
Okay.
correct.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Our last item tonight is a concept plan. John?
Yes, this evening we have a concept plan for a discussion of 72.3 acre plan for a mixed residential development, which would be included in which would in the future include a land use and zoning change from single family residential to single family residential, 2-family residential, and multifamily residential with the corresponding zoning. This is in TID number 18. We have been working with the developer throughout the summer and the fall on this particular project. He's at the point where the concept plan, we felt that it was appropriate to bring it to Planning Commission to have you guys provide a little bit of feedback as you might want to do. I'll go through the plan a little bit here in detail. The property was annexed in July of this past year, of 2003. It has been zoned RS4, and it does coordinate with the 2020 comprehensive plan. The proposal consists of single-family lots, 2-family ranch villas, and multifamily townhomes. The single-family lots are predominantly on the western half, while the multifamily and ranch villas are on the townhouses and the ranch villas are on the east side. I should note that this is part of the developer. We're working with Washington County through their next gen housing project. That project actually, through that initiative, has a cap of the cost of the sale of the units. So those price points are $340,000, $360,000, and $420,000. A number of the lots within the development are also proposed to be market rate. So there'll be essentially 4 price points within this particular subdivision. The intent of the next gen housing program is to try to meet that missing middle. So throughout southeastern Wisconsin, and you could probably argue large parts of the country, there is a component where people's incomes can afford that 300 to low 400 range, but there's just not a lot of new construction or even existing construction that's in that price point. So the intent of the county program is to meet that kind of demand in that particular area. The developer has been working with their engineer with regard to the wetlands delineation and approvals. There is a wetland crossing the creek in this particular proposed plan, providing access and connectivity between the 2 different halves of the development. You will see, and I think Scott, the developer, Simon, will point out there are private open spaces within the development that I think he'll expand a little bit upon. And we've also worked with our sewer and water utility with regard to the design or the intended design of the water and sewer systems for this area and how it will connect. With TID 18, the intent is right now the water system ends just a little bit north of Roscoe and Maine. The intent would be water would be brought all the way along Roscoe, and the developer would connect into that system. That connection will actually provide a loop throughout the system that will help with water utility as well as fire protection throughout this portion of the city. And I think that's probably a quick scenario. I'm going to turn it over to Scott right now. He has about a 5-minute presentation. And then I think after that, it would be appropriate for more questions and details that you might have.
Yeah. Thanks for being here tonight, Scott.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just wanted to get a chance to appear in front of you to introduce myself and to show you some of the ideas of what we're trying to integrate here, along with a thank you for all the help you've been so far. We're looking at, does everyone have a copy of my handout?
We're going to put it on the screens right
Tim is
now.
putting it up, and you should see it on the podium as well as the big monitors in a minute.
Okay. It's not coming up on here, but
Do you have it on the big screen? We can see the slide right now.
okay. It's not on here, but that's quite all right.
I think our IT people are working on it.
We can see it right here in front of us.
Okay.
Is it on that screen, Gus? Okay.
It's up over there. If you want to go on to the second page.
Okay.
This is just an introduction of who I am and what I've done. I've been doing this since 1992. We've developed over 1,000 single-family and multifamily homes. I've done over 15 to 20 subdivisions. We've done it in all different things, and my education's on there as well, just because you don't know who I am. I thought I'd throw that all in there. If you want to go to the next slide. This just continues on showing a couple of the projects that we have built in the past. It shows even one we're doing now is Pleasant Corners with a larger 4-unit condominium on each section in a pinwheel style design. It's been going very well to date, but I wanted to show you some of that as well. The next slide will show you a couple of larger mixed-use residential projects that we've done. Meadowlands in Pleasant Prairie consisted of very similar product of single-family ranch villas and 2 different levels of condominiums, and that was 252 units. It was very successful and worked very well, and the same with Monticello Gardens, which is in Franklin. That was 153 units. And on the next slide, I'm just repeating sort of what you heard last week from Eric Dorshing and Tracy Cross. The exact product that they're recommending is the exact product we're trying to bring to you. So we're going to work with him on a basis of, we're going to put him under retainer and try to work with him on the design to make sure that we're fitting exactly what he wants to see based upon his proposals, so we can deliver to you exactly what he said would come. Just sort of ties it all together. And the next slide just tells you what it is and what you've already heard. 96 single-family homes, 66 market rate and 30 next gen, 146 single-story ranch villas, and 140 three-story townhomes. Everything will have a 2-car garage. I think it's very important to note in the townhomes, they will be rear-loaded, and there are some pictures coming up that I'll show you as well. The next slide just tells you that we're appreciative so far of staff has allowed us, and engineering is working with us on zoning changes to bring a PUD forward with this, or a PDD forward with this, to allow us variances on setbacks so we can maximize the amount of road that we're using per each unit. So for example, instead of a 10 and 15-foot setback, we're looking at 6-foot setbacks, just trying to get a little bit tighter, but also working with the same type of product. The next page shows the layout broken out by color, so you can see a little bit better how each one of the products is. The next gen houses are the ones that are going to be on the south and toward the west. So that entire row that's facing the neighboring property on the south, we're north of it, it's facing on our south, and also along the entranceway. So there will be 30 of the next gen single families as well. The next page has the schematics, and those are just rough preliminary schematics. The single families are just there to show you examples. One is what we had built, the one on the right, and did that in quite a few of those back in the 2000 to 2010 timeframe. And the one on the left is directly from the Tracy Cross report. So you see we're very similar to what we've done and what they're looking to have done as well. The next row is just, again, ranch villas, shows the concept of side-by-side garages. We're looking at 40-foot wide for the pads, 20 feet for the garage, 20 feet for the house, so it's not overwhelmed by the garage door. And the last two, our architect actually just got that to me this morning. Those are two different renderings, one a little bit more of a close-up showing what the multiple unit townhomes will be. They're going to be built in units of 2, so we'll either have 6 units or 8 units on a building. And we're doing fire breaks between the 2s and the 4s, or between each of the 2 units. The next page. If you reference back to the drawing that we had before of the neighborhood, you'll see that there were 5 parks on there, all labeled A, B, C, and D. Each one has a different purpose in our mind. The one that's in the center of the townhomes, we're trying to create a central park type of feel to it. So we're looking at sunshades. We're going to do some sort of outdoor grill seating, and it'll be a long and narrow park, but it's almost over, I want to say over an acre in size, with a boulevard road going around it on both sides. The second one is the corner park that you have on our main road coming down B, and again, you can look at these later. We're trying to do something that defines the corner, and then something toward the back that would be more of an adult exercise area. It's a nice amenity to have for people if they want to use it. C, you'll see over by the single family when you look back at the other plan. We're looking at a simple children's play park. We're trying to make it as a gathering point or a destination point for the neighbors to be able to have their children playing. And again, we focused it more on the single family side because we anticipate more kids being in there. Park D is the open area down by the wetlands. We're looking at creating a dog park with fencing, 1 or 2 little dog toys, just for them to play, and an area for people to walk their dogs. And item E is a walking trail that will traverse the site from north to south at an angle through the whole subdivision. We will, showing it paved, we're probably going to go the alternative route than paved. But again, we wanted to just show you the concept. Again, was from the cross analysis. The last slide just shows the next steps on where we're at. We've completed the wetland delineation, the soil borings, the survey work. The conceptual design has now been submitted, and we are waiting on the results for the TIA. Next steps are rezoning, and you can see the dates that are coming up here, and the sheet goes down. We only want to give you the top portion of it. So I'm here to answer any questions you might have, if there are any.
If I might, I think I'll explain a few other things too. Just as you're looking at the concept plan on the screen. So for the ranch villas that are sort of in the middle, I guess I want to make sure everybody understands. First of all of these would be owner occupied. There are no rentals here because Next Gen does require owner occupancy. And then the ranch villas that you see sort of in the middle, those are on essentially a lot, and then the actual units are what would be the ownership. So there isn't individual lot lines. That sort of backwards L is one big lot. There's another lot on the bottom, and then there's a lot around the detention pond towards the north. Similarly for the townhomes, those are also on larger lots in common ownership from that perspective. So just wanted to clarify that if you're trying to look for lot lines or the 0 lot lines, through those, that they are one big particular lot from that perspective, just to clarify how you're kind of reading that. So what you're seeing is actually kind of a representation of a building footprint from that perspective.
So, John, that being said, there would be an HOA in this
There'd be an
neighborhood.
HOA. Scott has a slightly different version. I don't know if you want to explain that. You do a better job than I do.
Most of the time, something like this is done as a condominium. What's been done in other states, and we're looking to do it, I think Mandel has done it with the project in Oconomowoc, is to create fee simple ownership on the exact unit with a shared wall / shared roof agreement. The reason to do that would be financing. Banks are hesitant to finance for condominiums, even if the project's complete. So looking at this, it would be treated as a non-condominium, that you would have ownership to it, and then the common areas would all be part of a homeowners association rather than a condo association.
Interesting. Yeah. You've done it before, obviously.
First time doing this one, but I first saw it in Illinois a couple of years ago, and I looked at the concept and it was wonderful, and now someone's tried it in Wisconsin and it works, so I'll just fall in line.
Good. Let's start with Jed and then Mike.
So, thanks for the clarification, because I was thinking too, is it gonna, how are those parks gonna be maintained, and you've explained that. But I am confused about the owner-occupied thing, because unless I misunderstood, when you were explaining the overall neighborhood plan, it sounded like not all of this was next gen.
It's not all next gen, but it is all owner occupied. Next gen offers a number of benefits, and we're looking at not using next gen. They didn't have the full funds to be able to handle a subdivision of this size. So we're modifying it, but we're still following what their recommendations are. 66 lots will be single family home ownership. That will be market rate and non-next gen. 30 will be home ownership or individual ownership and be next gen. All of the ranch townhomes, villas, and the townhomes themselves will be private ownership as well, not rental.
How do you do that? Is that a deed restriction, or?
That's what we'll put on a deed restriction on number of units that can be rented long-term. We'll allow a couple, but first come, first serve, but not many. It's like one or two in the entire development.
So I was going to say, I'm usually very suspicious of changing zonings from single family to something like this, but if it's going to be owner occupied, it changes it for me.
I think the difference there is really within the next gen requirements that they have to be owner occupied. The difference between the market rate and single family and the next gen single family is really just that cap that the county won't allow the home to be sold more than $420,000, but the market rate would be whatever the market is. So if someone buys the lot, they're gonna, let's say the base model price is $420,000, but they want to like upgrade to wood floors or granite countertops or whatever those are. Maybe all of a sudden now it's a $460,000 or a $500,000. There's that flexibility to go above that particular cap. And I think what it does, it kind of even broadens the, instead of just having 3 types of price points, it now has 4 price points. So you actually get a different value. It also, I will mention this, if you look at it from a TIF perspective, those extra houses being higher than, right now we've calculated the TIF district at everything as a cap. When it was adopted within the next gen price points, that actually, even if it's $50,000 more, that is going to be a little extra increment that will just make the district probably perform a little better. That was not originally anticipated a number of months ago.
And just to clarify on the next gen designation, if I buy one of those next gen products and it's now 6 years post purchase, I've fulfilled my obligations to the county. That stipulation really doesn't apply anymore, right? I sell my house at whatever I can get for it at that point in time, and all the next gen restrictions are waived.
It's a 5-year period, and yes, they are.
Okay.
We plan on selling them all as home ownership or individual ownership anyway, but next gen fits with what we're doing.
So there's 2 components to next gen. They're driven, I guess I would say, is more as a developer's incentive. The first part is basically a loan of $20,000 per unit that the county provides to the developer up front. And then when that unit is sold, the county expects the $20,000 to come back to them at that point. So it is sort of a lower, it's kind of a loan type program. The other component is they will pay development fees. So building permit fees, those types of other types of fees. When Scott comes in and let's say he drops off one day 3 or 4 building permits, then the county actually pays for those building permits rather than the developer. So that's where some of the 2 of the tools that they're using to help incentivize. And then, there's the cap of the price points and a lot of other kind of criteria that that Scott has to abide by. They have rules about construction. They have to have 2-car garages. There's a whole list of things that he has to fit within to be able to conform to the program.
And the retirement of the down payment assistance, is that solely cash from me back to the county, or is there, I thought there was a volunteer element to that too?
So that actually is called the Heart for Home program. That is something that would be not eligible from a development perspective. You, as a purchaser into this subdivision, you could go to the county and apply for that program. So that actually is a separate program at the homeowner's opportunity. It's a whole, Scott would not even be involved. So if I'm buying Scott's lot and home, I could go to the county, say I want to do the Heart for Home. They provide a loan component. I can either choose to pay it off over time. I can pay it off at the time that I sell the house, or I can actually over time volunteer in the community, document all those hours, and all that money is actually essentially forgiven through those volunteer hours. So that is a separate program, but somebody buying in this neighborhood or any neighborhood in the county could. I think they've run their second round. They get a lot of applicants, and it literally, I would say within a couple weeks, they have used up all of their money. So it's been a very successful program. So if anybody's listening, and that there's another, if there's a third opportunity from the county, you don't want to think, oh, I'll apply in 3 weeks. If you know that they're going to be opening it up and you're interested, you should probably apply right away.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Go ahead, Matt.
A question regarding the two different types of single-family homes, the next gen and the market rate. Is the intent or the concept that they would be scattered throughout, or are they going to be scattered throughout up to those quantities or limited numbers that you had said, or are they going to be cordoned off where you're going to have one road of all next gen and one road of all market rate?
It's a very good question. And the reason being is most of the time through every federal program and every state program, they want them intermixed. Next gen does not.
Okay.
So they want them clustered, and I gave them what they wanted.
Although that is a conversation that I've had with the county, I would argue it's probably better to have them mixed. I think a row of next gens. I think if you think about driving through West Bend and you look at older neighborhoods, you're going to have larger homes, smaller homes, houses with brick, houses without brick. If you think about it, probably the difference between the market rate might be one house might have more brick or stone. Probably the next gen, it's probably just going to be all siding. So if you have a row of all houses with siding and then you have other ones that have extra materials, you're going to kind of notice that, and having them interspersed, I think, will actually, I think you'll create more of a diversity. If that is something the Planning Commission would choose, I would actually say that that is an appropriate comment for this conceptual review to provide that feedback to Scott to say, we prefer that. What that's going to do is that's going to allow Scott to go back to the county, allow me to say, hey, I have a planning commission. So if that's something, it's a good point. If it's something you're interested in, I'd bring it up. If you're not.
It's the reason I asked the question, because I would highly recommend that they be interspersed for that exact reason that it takes on
They're shaking their heads up here, John and Scott. So.
As opposed to having the one row, right, of, oh, those were the next gen homes. I don't want one of those. I want to get.
Avoid that side of town.
And I'm thinking long term, right, of the subdivision. And I think the long term health of the subdivision and having that variety interspersed throughout the single family portion is something that would be critically important.
I think it's fair to say that you're probably not going to see a next-gen home on that cul-de-sac on the west edge, the bigger lots. And the rest of the lots are all, seemingly of roughly equal dimensions. The county can stay out of our business as to how we want to do this. I think it should be interspersed.
I don't know why the county even cares.
The logic that they had said is that when they take somebody through to show the next gen project or what they've done, it's easier if they're clustered to show what they've created rather than to say that one, and that one.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole reasoning I was given.
Noted.
Yeah. Scott, you, I think, said 20 minutes ago or so on this picture, if you can see it on the screen, that you have plotted the left side of the picture, the first 8 plus another 8 on the other side as next gen, correct?
Based upon the clustering, that whole entrance off of Main Street or County Highway P, on both sides of the street going east and west, will plan to be next gen. Additionally, as you continue along the southern line of property,
Yep.
those continuing units would be next gen. And those I looked at as a next gen buffer between a multifamily and a single family, meaning the multi being a 2-ranch villa.
Yeah.
It didn't matter as much on those, but the other ones I agree should be mixed throughout. To me, that's logical.
Yeah.
And whatever you want, if you tell me, I can tell them.
Well, you've heard my opinion on, it, and I think
We can,
the commission agrees with it. I just want to ask a clarifying question as it relates to having a homeowners association, particularly as it relates to the 5 park areas. I just want to be crystal clear that those will be managed and maintained as a part of the association, not as City of West Bend parks, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
There would still be park impact fees.
I would love to talk to you about that at some point.
correct, park impact fees are in lieu of parks. So if in our outdoor recreation plan, we identified a park or parkway in this particular area, what we would be asking is the developer deed that piece of area to the city for our park system rather than paying the impact fee. Our comprehensive outdoor rec plan does not acknowledge any park or parkway or trail system on this particular property, so it would just be park impact fees from that perspective. I guess this would be a great opportunity too to mention, so with this rezoning that you're going to see in the next few months, you'll see the rezoning to the RD2 as well as the RM, but you'll also see an application for a planned unit development over the whole property. With that, there'll be some relief of some of the lots. So there are our standard RS4 subdivision has a 60-foot lot. In some cases, you'll see on this particular plat, I don't think there's numbers on the image that you're looking at now, they'd be 50-foot lots instead of 60. There's also some things happening over with the ranch villas. The way our ordinance works with a plan unit development, it's a give and take that there's a little bit of relief given to the developer with regard to the standard zoning, but then in return, if you read the text, it talks about a higher level of design, a higher level of amenities. So there is some relief that the developer's asking, which essentially allows them some more efficiency of layout or efficiency of infrastructure, but then in return, they're supposed to be. So he will be having certain sort of levels of architecture, some materials, given it's next gen, not everything's going to be brick, et cetera, but then those trails and private parks kind of are part of that that component. So just thought I'd share that.
I also did just want to add a comment. If you go back to the one that showed the various images of the homes, it's your small screen right now. There you go. I really like the idea, particularly when you look at the townhome concept, that you have different architectural facades that separate them from a visual standpoint as individual residences, as opposed to them having the same look and feel. And I'm thinking specifically of the Emery, right? These buildings are going to be very, very similar in terms of the structure themselves. The difference here is this feels like a neighborhood as opposed to a large multifamily complex. So I really like what you've got.
You're right. The one on the bottom, if you look at the bottom one, the first unit has a punched out square bay with a balcony on the top floor, a gabled entrance door. The next one's more flat with a shed roof. The next one, again, it's a shed roof, but then their living space has a bay window. So it's little things, and then they change the material. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's pretty common with a single family type townhouse, gives that diversity.
Very, very complimentary of that.
My architect and I have been discussing whether or not to use different colors and different color schemes between buildings, which you told me gives me direction. Thank you.
I hope there's other heads nodding.
Yep.
it'll look much more interesting than the same thing next door to each other.
Yeah.
So,
Any other thoughts? Again, another exciting development for us, a community of 382 units. We haven't had one of those in a long time. So thank you for your work with our team, John and Jim and the gang. And and thanks for being here tonight.
and thank you. I appreciate your time. If you have questions, go through John. You can reach me anytime.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we're at the end of our agenda. We will see you all in February. And have a great night. Thanks for being here. We're adjourned.